Alright, last page of our crash course. The first thing we need to know is how do you convince me that this is going to be tangent? And the way you can convince me is if you could say this is a right triangle. Well, if it's a right triangle, then it satisfies the Pythagorean theorem. So 5 squared plus 12 squared, that should equal this distance, which is 5 plus 8, 13 squared. Does 5 squared plus 12 squared, does 25 plus 144 equal 169? Yes, it does. That's actually a special right. You should know that in your head. So this is a right triangle, which means AB is tangent to the circle C. All of these three problems are going to be set up the same way, and the ratio, the proportion that I'm going to use is the angle measurement, so 145 out of 360, so part to whole. The only difference in the problems is the radii are different, and the angles are different. So the part here, if I'm looking for the length of arc AB, the part is that arc, so I'll just call that x, out of the whole. The whole, if you're talking about a circle, is the circumference, so that's pi times the diameter. If the radius is 14.2, then the diameter would be 28.4. So all you have to do is cross multiply and divide. This is a pretty straightforward equation to solve. You're going to get x equals 33.5 inches, not inches squared, inches, because it's a linear distance. We're talking about portion of the circumference. I'm going to do the same thing here, only my part is different. 360. 130 out of 360. The part of the angle is 130. The whole of the angle is 360. The part of the arc, that's what I'm looking for, so that's my x, and the whole is the circumference of the circle. So it's pi times the diameter again. The diameter in this problem would be 15.4 times 2, which is 30.8. And if you cross multiply and divide here, you get x equals 34.54 inches. For the third one, same game. The part is 67 out of the whole, all 360 degrees. The part of the arc is what I don't know, AB, but I do know that the radius is 30.8, so I can find the diameter would be twice that, which is 61.6. So if I cross multiply and divide here, I get x equals 36.02, and that's meters. So all I'm doing is finding the part of the whole. The part angles, 145 out of 360, and the whole is the circumference in this. Now here, the whole is no longer the circumference, it's the area, because we're finding the area of the sector. So I'm going to pretty much do the same thing. The only difference is I'm using a different equation. I'm going to say 60 out of 360. I know that since this is the central angle, that's also 60. 60 out of 360 equals the area of the sector. I don't know that, but I do know that it's pi r squared. Instead of using circumference, I'm trying to find an area, so I'm just using a different whole. Instead of the circumference, I'm using the area. You cross multiply here, you get 33.5. That's inches. These are inches squared because we're talking about an area. Same idea, 120 out of 360. I have 1/3. If you wanted to reduce it, you could. 1/3 of the circle is pi times 4.5 squared. If you solve for x here, you're going to get 21.21 inches squared. And for the last one, I'm going to say I have 110 degrees of 360, which means I have some portion of the area. The area here is 12.8 squared. So when I solve for x, I get 157.28, and that's millimeters squared. So that's it for our ratios. Let's talk about the equation of a circle. The equation of a circle is, actually I shouldn't say y, I should say x minus h, quantity squared, plus y minus k, quantity squared, equals r squared. So this is standard form of a circle. If they give me that the center of the circle is 0, 0, then my hk is 0, 0. So it'd be x minus 0, which is just x squared, plus y minus 0 is just y squared, equals r squared, that's 1 squared. So I get just 1. So x squared plus y squared equals, I'm just going to say 1. Here, I'm going to say x minus 0 again, so that's just x squared, plus y minus 4, that's my k value, equals 4 squared. 4 squared is 16, so that's the equation of the circle. And for the last thing, I'm just going backwards. I'm going to identify my hk. It looks like they plugged in 3, negative 4, and the radius would be, the square root of 16 is 4. So if I go to 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then draw a circle with radius 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm good. And then if I do the same thing over here, negative 5, positive 7, remember it's supposed to be minus sign, then r would be the square root of 25 is 5. I'm going to go to negative 5, positive 7, and I'm going to draw a circle with radius 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. That's all of geometry in about 2 days.